For this test, you're going to have to demonstrate your understanding of rates. In order to do this, you need to be able to find a rate or identify a rate. Once you've identified a rate, you need to demonstrate that you understand what a unit rate is, use that unit rate to make a comparison, and then also use rates to make calculations. So I have an example problem that will go through all of these for us. All right, so here I have the problem. ASM is having a hot dog eating contest. Jane can eat 52.5 hot dogs in 5 minutes, and Duke can eat 43.5 hot dogs in 3 minutes. If they eat their hot dogs at these rates during the contest, which of the two students will win? And then there's a second question that we'll do after we solve this, which is, if the contest lasts for 7 minutes, how many hot dogs will the winner eat? I'm going to start this problem off by just identifying what are my rates, finding my rates. So over here, I'm going to put Jane. So I know that Jane can eat 52.5 hot dogs. I'm just going to put HD. Hot dogs in 5 minutes. And I know that Duke can eat 34.5 hot dogs in 3 minutes. The next thing I need to do is I need to find unit rates. Now, this isn't specifically saying what is the unit rate, but in order to do number 3, which is what the question is actually asking me to do, which is to make a comparison, I need to find a unit rate, because right now it's really hard for my brain to say which one of these students is eating more. We don't have a consistent unit of measurements, because here I'm having 5 minutes that I'm looking at, and for Duke I'm looking at 3 minutes. If I get them down to where they're both 1 minute, then it's going to be easier to be able to tell who can eat more hot dogs in amount of time. So I'm going to create a unit rate, which is just making a proportion. So I know that instead of 5 minutes, I want this to be down to 1 minute. So how do I get from 5 to 1? Well, I'm going to divide by 5. So if I do it to the bottom, I have to do it to the top as well. Come over here and do some quick calculations. 52.5 divided by 5. And when I do that, I'm going to get that my answer is 10.5. So I know that Jane, I missed the E on her name, Jane can eat 10.5 hot dogs in 1 minute. Okay, let's see how many Duke can eat. Same process. I want to get to where everything is in a unit rate. So I don't want this to be 3 minutes, I want it to be 1 minute. How do I get from 3 to 1? I divide by 3. So I'm going to take my top number and I'm going to divide it by 3. So I'm going to have 34.5 divided by 3. When I do that, I get 11.5 hot dogs. Okay. And it's all cleaned up. Okay, so now we have our 2 unit rates, and I can see that Jane can eat at a rate of 10.5 hot dogs per 1 minute, and that Duke can eat at 11.5 hot dogs per 1 minute. So from this, I can tell that Duke can eat more hot dogs in the same amount of time. So Duke will win the contest. Yay! Okay, so that's the first question here. So we've done the first part of it. The second part is, if the contest lasts for 7 minutes, how many hot dogs will the winner eat? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that this contest is going to last 7 minutes. So I'm going to write this, and let's use a different color. Let's use red. Okay, so this contest is going to last 7 minutes. And for those 7 minutes, I'm going to be eating at a rate of, or I shouldn't say I am, Duke will be eating at a rate of 11.5 hot dogs per 1 minute. So it's going to be at this rate for 7 minutes. So to solve this, I'm just going to multiply. Remember that your units cancel. So your minutes will cancel. And now we have to figure out what is 7 times 11.5. Just going to make this a little bit smaller. So we'll do 11.5 times 7. When I do that, I get 80.5. So I know that he will have 80.5 hot dogs over 1, which is just equal to 80.5 hot dogs. Now, if that way doesn't make you feel comfortable, there is another way you can do it, which is to set up a proportion. So we can say that we know that Duke can eat 11.5 hot dogs in 1 minute. And I want to know what is the equal rate, the proportional rate for 7 minutes. Same thing, I would say, how do you get from 1 to 7? Let me say times 7. So in order to get this number up here, I've got to times it by 7, and I'll get the same answer, because we already did 7 here. We did 7 times 11.5, so I already know that answer is going to be 80.5 hot dogs, because these are proportional rates. So either way, this will get me my answer here, or I can use this way to calculate my answer here. So this is everything that you could possibly need to know about the rates. The only other thing that could possibly happen is I could put something into a rate table. And so instead of just telling you the rates here, I could have given you a list of rates like this, and I could have said this is hot dog, or this would be minutes, and I could say this is hot dogs, and then I could have given you a list over here. So I might have said something like, see here, 5 minutes and 52.5 hot dogs, and 6 minutes, and what would that be? That would be 63 hot dogs, and this would be for Jane. But it would be the exact same thing, and then I would have another table over here for Duke. And I would make another table. It would have all of the same rates in it. It would just be in the form of a rate table. But we've done a lot of these in class, and so I wanted to show how I might give you the rates where they're not in a rate table and how you still have to be able to solve them. So let's see, what did I said that in 3 minutes Duke would have 34.5. So then in 4 minutes he would have 46. And so on and so forth. So the only other thing that I could do is put it in rate tables like this. So I hope this gives you a good refresher of everything that we've gone over this unit with rates. So the only other thing that will be on the test besides the rates and the percentages will be the dimensional analysis, which I did that right here. It's just understanding that, I did that here. It's understanding that units cancel, and I already do have the lesson videos up on my website for that. So if you have any more questions, feel free to email me if anything didn't make sense in the video. Other than that, good luck studying for your test. That's not what I want.